If you're searching for Printify for beginners, you're in the right place. Printify is one of the most popular print-on-demand platforms online, but most beginners use it completely wrong, and that's why they never make a single sale. And here's the best part. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact beginner setup I would use if I had to start from zero today. Also, stick around until the end because I'm going to show you the #1 mistake beginners make inside of Printify that silently kills profits, even when they get sales. So let's jump in. What is Printify? Printify is a print-on-demand platform. That means you don't buy any inventory, you don't have to store any products, and you don't ship anything yourself. Instead, you just create the design, add it to a product, and when someone places an order, Printify prints and ships it directly to your customer. Printify automatically connects sellers to printing partners. Orders are fulfilled automatically. You only pay Printify after the sale. Printify is basically the fulfillment engine behind your Etsy shop. Here's how Printify works, step by step, the beginner version. All right, so to create our Printify account, first we want to go to printify.com. Once we're there, we want to hit sign on. If you don't already have an account, this is where you'll create one by typing in your email, password, and hitting sign on. For the sake of this, we'll just sign on to my account as I have a few shops. Okay, once you're on, you'll go over here, you'll hit add new store. If you're connecting an Etsy shop, you would hit this. If you're connecting a Shopify store, you'd hit this. In a separate video, we'll go over the differences of Etsy and Shopify. But for the sake of this video, let's just stick with Etsy. We'll hit that. Here, you would sign into your Etsy account using your email and password that you use for Etsy. Hit sign in. Once you do that, it's going to ask you to authorize allowing Etsy and Printify to connect. You want to hit yes, and that will allow the two systems to communicate to one another. The important thing to note there is if someone goes to Etsy and buys your funny dog shirt, once they hit purchase, Printify will automatically get the order. You can schedule Printify to automatically fulfill the order, or you can manually fulfill it. So if you're doing a custom shirt, you'd want to do manual. But if you're just doing funny dog shirts, you would want to do automatic. And the reason for that is in case you're on vacation or you're away from the office and you just forget to fulfill the order, you let Printify do it for you automatically. So once you've created your account, you go over here to catalog, select whatever product you want, whether it be a shirt, a mug, a candle. For the sake of this, we'll do t-shirt. And then you'll see here's a whole selection of shirts you could choose from. As you're going down here, you want to look for two different things. You want to look for the cost and then the Printify cost. So what that's telling you is if you don't have Printify Premium, your cost starts at $8.77. If you pay the $30 a month through Printify, you could become a member on their service and you get a discount on the shirts. So you notice here, it's almost like a $3 savings. So if you're selling 10 shirts or more a month, it certainly benefits to get the premium. If you're not and you're just starting out, don't worry about it. Just stick with this. So for the sake of this, let's select the Gildan 5000. It's a popular shirt. This tells you about the shirt. And then as you move down, you can hit start designing. That's where some people make mistakes. I do not suggest that. I suggest going here, find a fulfillment option, choose manually. And then here are all the different printing companies throughout the country that print this Gildan 5000. You'll see here's the colors they offer. Here's the shipping time, 1.5 days, 1.8 days, and then here's the shipping cost. So you want to evaluate a number of things. You want to evaluate their overall score. Note that Printify puts the best printing companies up top. You want to note the pricing. Each one charges different pricing. You want to note the shipping costs and the times. Again, me personally, we start at the top and go down. Underground Threads is a good one. Drive Fulfillment's good. Monster Digital tends to be my favorite. And the reason for that is they print a number of different t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve shirts. So if you have a number of different products available, I try to stick with one printer. You notice their shipping times 1.2 days and their shipping cost is $4.29. So again, very good. 8.9 is a good score. So for me personally, I would select them, then hit start designing. All right, once you're here, this shows you the shirt. Go over here where it says upload, my device, and then find your design. So, okay, so let's say I was gonna print our logo. So you would select the design, center it as best as you'd like. As you can make it bigger, smaller. As you make changes here, you'll notice down here it changes the width and height of the design. Here you can go and select different colors. You could do black, blue, whatever color you'd like. Note my design, I didn't remove the background, but if you have a design, you would obviously want to remove the background. So once you have your color selected, you can hit preview. It'll show you what the different mockups look like in that color. And you can use all of these mockups on your Etsy shop. So a nice thing to note. So let's just say you're happy with this. You'd hit save product. Once you hit save product, it's going to then ask you for what mockups you'd like to use. So you could select what you want for the front, the back, the folded, one person, so on. You could do different colors, or you could just hit select all. I'm a big believer you could do up to 20, so I would say select all unless you have a bunch of different colors. If you have a bunch of colors, I'd be more selective. But once you're happy with your mockups, hit save selection. All right, so this is what your customers are going to see on Etsy. These are the mockups we've selected. If you ever want to add more, you can do that in Etsy. This is just the Printify backend. But as you scroll down, here's where you can select your title. Again, we've given plenty of different suggestions on title formulas. I always say put the keywords in the front and try to use up as many of these 140 tags as possible, although Etsy suggests differently. But let's say funny dog mom shirt gift for mom, Mother's Day, and so on. You get the idea. If this was my listing, I would probably go to ChatGPT, tell it exactly what I was selling, and ask for title suggestions. Whatever it gave, I'd copy and paste into here. The same's true for description. So it auto-populates a description based on the product you selected. This is nice to have. It tells you about the material, how to wash it. Here you can add more, so you can add your own description. Great gift for Mother's Day or whatever. But whatever you hit here is going to import over into Etsy. Tags, you can either add your tags here or do it in Etsy. Me personally, I do it in Etsy. If you have personalization, you can turn that on. Go down here, select economy shipping. That's always the least expensive. And then pricing. So this is a really nice feature. So it auto defaults at a 40% margin. So it's saying that your shirt, the cost is $12.41. At a 40% margin, you're going to sell for $26.22, which gives you a $10 profit. If you want to change that, you can do that right here, edit price, and you can either edit the price, profit, or margin. So let's say we want to make the price $34.99, and we'll just show you what it does. So it makes all of the shirts $34.99. Now you'll notice as you go down in size, some of these more expensive shirts cost more money. You notice the cost is $15.71, so therefore your profit margins shrink. So if you want to do this individually, just unselect that, and then you could go down 2x, 3x, edit price, and maybe we want to make those $45.99. Hit apply, and now let's change those as well. So now these are 54 and 59% margin. Keep scrolling down. If you ever just want to make a draft, you can hit hide here in store. I wouldn't do that. I always just leave it as is. It's asking here, what do you want to sync over to Etsy? Just leave everything and hit publish. Once you hit publish, it'll take 5-10 seconds, but it then imports everything over to Etsy. And again, as we said earlier, once you get a sale on Etsy, it will then transfer over to Printify automatically. You just hit fulfill, you collect the money. So if you're charging $30 for your shirt on Etsy, Printify is going to charge you $12. You've already collected the $30, so you're profiting $18. It's really that simple. The important thing to know here is Printify handles everything after the sale. You're not holding inventory. You're not investing in any inventory. You're not worrying about fulfillment. Printify does everything. What are the best products for Printify beginners? Now here's where beginners mess up. They try to sell everything. They list shirts, mugs, hoodies, tote bags, stickers, blankets, you name it. And they wonder why nothing works. What to do instead? Start with one product category, one niche, one design style. Examples that work great for beginners. Shirts, they're easy, there's lots of buyers. Mugs, they're simple, they're giftable. Candles, high perceived value. Pickleball paddles, less competition, but a huge trend. Remember, simple is scalable. So what are the common beginner mistakes? Let me save you months of frustration. Here are the biggest beginner mistakes that I often see with Printify. 1, uploading too many products. What I mean by that is, if you're selling dog shirts or funny dog shirts, you don't want to be selling dog shirts, dog mugs, dog candles, dog hats. Stick to the dog shirts. That's what the Etsy algorithm's looking for. Number 2, copying trending designs blindly. And what I mean by that is, you might see something trending up in popularity, so you're just mimicking your designs to that. You don't want to do that. You want to use tools like Everbee to find out what's exactly working, why it's working, and change your design and use it as inspiration. 3, ignoring Etsy SEO. And what I mean by that is just blindly putting tags up, using whatever title you like. You don't want to do that. You want to use tools like Everbee, find out what tags are working, find out how to structure your title, and find out what keywords to use in your description. Number 4, competing on price. You're going to see, if you're selling dog shirts, there's going to be people selling for $6.99. They're doing that as a loss leader. You can't compete with that. You want to price your items fairly. And number 5, not ordering samples. Too many times I've sold a poster or a shirt only to have the product delivered to the customer and realize that it wasn't good quality. Whenever you're starting, you always want to order samples, find out what products are good and which ones maybe don't print as well. Remember, Printify is a tool, not a business by itself. How Printify and Etsy work together. This is the part beginners don't understand. Printify does not bring you customers. Etsy brings you the traffic. Printify just fulfills the orders. Remember, Etsy is a marketplace. That's where people go online to buy items. Remember also, SEO, search engine optimization, that's what drives visibility. That's how Etsy knows what your products are and who to push it to. I always say this, listings matter more than designs. You can have a great design, but if it's not listed right, Etsy's not going to know who to show it to or who your potential buyers are. And lastly, remember, Printify handles the printing and the shipping, not the SEO, not the listing, not getting you customers. They're two different businesses. If you want to speed up keyword research, I strongly suggest tools like Allura, Everbee, link in the bio. These can help you spot what's already trending, what's selling, and how to copy your listings to mimic that. My final advice for beginners. If I were starting Printify from scratch today, here's exactly what I would do. First, I would pick one product. Second, I would pick one niche. So what I mean by that is the product might be shirts or mugs or candles. The niche is dog parent or bearded dragon owner or electrician or carpenter. That's the niche. Number 3, pick one problem to solve. Number 4, optimize one listing really well. Make sure your titles, your tag, your description, you've used all your images, you've used your alt tags. Make sure Etsy fully understands that one listing. And then number 5, repeat what works. Remember, one great listing beats 30 random listings every time. Now remember earlier, I said I'd tell you the number 1 mistake that silently kills profits? Well, here it is. Beginners choose the wrong print provider, and they don't check shipping costs, delivery time, or profit margins. So they price too low, or their shipping's too slow, or the quality's just bad. And the shop dies before it even starts. Remember, always check your print provider options before publishing. You do that within Printify. So if you select a shirt, look at all the printing partners first, look at their score, pick the best one with the quickest shipping times. So if this helped you understand Printify for beginners at all, please hit subscribe, like, comment, post, do it all. I post real print on demand and Etsy strategies without the fluff, and I'll show you exactly what actually works.